Here we are at the training complex of Racing, one of the biggest clubs in Argentina. You're gonna see Racing River, the youth, the youngsters play. So here we go. We got through. We're in the parking lot here. And now we're about to catch the matches. What's up, everybody? It is Coach Andrew with Because Football, and I wanted to give you all an update on what I got to do yesterday. It was a really awesome experience at the Predio Tita Matiussi, which is the training ground of Racing Club de Avellaneda, which is one of the local big teams. Their nickname is El Primer Grande, which is the first great. They had an amazing run in the beginnings of the Argentine league. We're talking over 100 years ago. They won pretty much every title for a decade. They were a dynasty club. And so a big part of the club's identity and background is of that time. But fast forward another 100 or so years, they are still one of the top clubs within Argentine football, regularly producing top talents that can go abroad to Europe, to the United States, to Mexico, and to Asia as well. I got the opportunity, I was invited by my friend Nacho to visit the training ground for a really awesome behind the scenes friendlies between Racing's under 14, under 15, and under 16 academy teams against River Plate, one of the biggest clubs in Argentina, arguably one of the greatest producers of talent in Argentina, especially in the last 15 to 20 years, the last few decades. And so it was a great opportunity to go to the complex. There was I'd say about 10 fields in total, mostly grass. They did have a field hockey, or a hockey field with artificial turf, because the club does have many sports, not just football, although that is the leading sport. It was a great experience for me to be able to see some of the top talent in the country at these ages, right? We're talking about the top few clubs in the country, certainly within the city of Buenos Aires. And so they're able to attract and develop some of the top talent at each of these age levels. Nacho had asked me how it compares to the United States, and I think, in the US we have athletes, right? We are growing in terms of our ability and overall technical ability on the ball, but it's mostly athletes. What I saw here, although I would say at the under 14 age group, the athleticism was not as high. You could really see that physically the boys most of them had not fully grown into their bodies. They're kind of in that intermediate stage where they still didn't quite have that explosiveness and that strength. The year up though, the under 15s, you could see a massive striking difference between the two in terms of their physicality, how they played, but also just their physical makeup and composition. Physically much stronger, much faster, much quicker gameplay, really, really sharp on the ball. And so I think that, technically, without a doubt, the technical ability, especially the close control with both feet, with different surfaces of the foot, and a lot of the short, close passing, was really elite, was really next level. For all the matches, I did get to see parts of 3 matches. For the 3, I think there were probably about 11 goals in total. Of the 3 matches, River won 2 of them, and then Racing won 1, which is when we've got some footage of those goals. I got really lucky and was able to catch a lot of those, especially that one absolute banger of a golazo by the Racing right winger. He cuts in on his left foot and hit it from about 25 yards. Although there's a fair amount of goals, there weren't a ton of chances, honestly, but a lot of play through the midfield, on the wings, being able to connect in tight little triangles, and then trying to find a center midfielder to switch play. There was a lot of that. Some kind of swinging the ball around the back, but a lot of the play was in the midfield, which was good to see. But finding different spaces, trying to get in behind the defenders with different through balls. So kind of a mix of directness there, but not too much play in either attacking third, I would say, for really any of the games. For the older boys, for the under 16s, towards the end of the game, as Racing was getting a little tired, River had more of the ball, and they were able to connect more and played more around the attacking third. Racing did to an extent, so I'd say the older boys, you saw more of that using all different parts of the field, whereas the 2 younger groups tended to use more of that middle third, and then anything in the attacking third was just not as consistent. They weren't able to connect or really build and combine with third man runs, in their triangles, mainly just 1 or 2 players maybe taking people on. The big things that stuck out for me, obviously, the technical ability was there and was really a joy to watch. but the coaching style and the overall energy, I would say, I did not see any of the coaches, any of the, we had 6 teams, so 6 coaches. None of the coaches did I see running up and down the sidelines. Did I see them jumping up and down? Did I see them overly screaming or yelling or berating players? It was very much a supportive and encouraging type of tone. The atmosphere is just very relaxed. I don't know if it's because it's the morning and people haven't really got started with their day. Everybody's got their mate, but still just kind of relaxed feeling. No problems with the ref from the coaches. From the players a little bit. I mean, they're teenagers. There's been a little bit of pushing and shoving in some of the games because they've gotten a little bit lopsided. I don't think any of the games has been close. Now we're at a 3-0 here for Racing, probably in the 60th minute, 70th minute. Overall, the families, the parents watching were really quiet. It was very much like, hey, this is not our space, and they didn't want to dominate that or overtake it. So overall, it was just a great kind of example and definitely different from the States, and something I'm really interested to see as I experience more of Argentine football at different ages and different levels. It could have been a more relaxed atmosphere because they were friendlies, right? So because there's nothing at stake, the actual league begins in another 2 weeks, then everyone might have been a little bit more laid back. And so I think, that certainly stuck out and surprised me, given the reputation of Argentina being a really passionate, emotional, intense type of football culture on and off the field. That was certainly something I didn't expect, but I want more of a sample size. I want to be able to see more of it to really see how that holds up, to compare to the United States, to compare to other places I've been. The fields were beautiful as well, great condition of the grass pitches, the great facilities, really beautiful at the training complex. And then after the matches, I really enjoyed the opportunity to just stick around, see the parents greeting the boys and getting pictures with little nieces and nephews and family members and parents, and just kind of seeing that interaction. I loved seeing the mate as well. It's such a popular part of Argentine culture. For breakfast, it's usually just mate, which is a type of herbal tea. And they have a special bag to carry everything, at least some people did, called a matera. So it has room for the actual mate cup, for the thermos of hot water that they keep in it to be able to replenish, and then for a bag, like a lot of times a bag like probably this big and thick around, with the actual mate itself. So it's not like you just pack a mate like a coffee cup. You don't just pack one for the day. These people were in it for the long haul, and probably drinking it through the whole morning into the afternoon. I was there for 4 hours. I saw the same people sipping on their mate. So that was really cool to see that, because it's something I'd seen from so many social media posts of like Messi and Suarez back in the Barcelona days. They were always driving into the training complex together. They each had their mate. Just a really emblematic feature of both Argentine and Uruguayan culture that then has been shared through the football, and is obviously a big part of it. So after the matches, we went inside one of the buildings at the complex where they have a gym. And then they call it like the little buffet. So it's like a little area where they have some food. They had some sandwiches. I got a really nice sandwich. Compliments of the Racing cooking staff. So thank you. In that buffet area, I was able to learn a little bit more about the history of the club. They had some signs and boards showing things like the old crests of the club, which is really cool to see the evolution of the badge, the crest over time. The old photographs of the stadiums and earliest fields and football grounds that they played at, going back to the early 1900s. Some of their most famous players and most impactful players throughout the history of Racing. And so it was really great to get a bit of that history, to learn more about the club. But yeah, overall, just like a really awesome day. And I learned that the training complex, Predio Tita Matiussi, Predio Tita, meaning Aunt, Tita Matiussi. Now I'm messing myself up. Tita Matiussi. It's Matiussi, because I kept saying Matiussi, but that's wrong. Yeah, Tita Matiussi. That's the training complex for Racing. It was named after a woman who was really important to the development of the club. She was one of the cooks and she cared for the players. Certainly a story that I want to learn more about. So yeah, amazing. One of the first full days here in Buenos Aires. Hope you enjoy a little bit of the behind the scenes access to this type of level, a very high level within the youth game here in Argentina and specifically here in the city of Buenos Aires. And I'll be sure to share more of that with all of you, whether here on YouTube or on our Instagram as well. Many more to come. Please please subscribe if you'd like to see more, and share it with a friend who you think might get something out of this. And we really appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.